Hello and welcome to the topic Chronic Myelogenous Leukemia or CML in the Hematology module. By the end of this session, you should be able to define chronic myelogenous leukemia, explain the pathophysiology and risk factors, outline the clinical manifestations of a patient with CML, list the investigations that are carried out to diagnose, assess the severity and prognosticate the disease, discuss the principles of management, discuss the complications of CML, and discuss the prognosis of this condition. Let's get started. Chronic myelogenous leukemia is a myeloproliferative malignancy involving pluripotent hematopoietic stem cells, leading to an overproduction of myeloid cells, especially granulocytes. This dysregulation of hematopoiesis stems from a BCR-ABL fusion gene that causes abnormal clonal expansion of myeloid cells. CML can progress into an accelerated or blast phase, which results in acute leukemia. CML is an entity classified by the WHO under myeloproliferative neoplasms. It is then further divided into few phases: chronic phase, accelerated phase, and blast crisis. We'll be exploring the progress of CML through the different phases and what significance do these phases mean to clinical practice. Let's look at the pathophysiology of CML. So CML stems from a reciprocal translocation between chromosome 9 and 22 on a hematopoietic stem cell. The BCR gene on chromosome 22 is fused with ABL, which originates from the distal portion of chromosome 9. This forms a BCR-ABL fusion oncogene. The abnormal chromosome 22 is termed Philadelphia chromosome, which is pathognomonic of CML. The end product, a P210BCR-ABL protein that transforms normal hematopoietic stem cells into malignant cells by inhibiting physiological apoptosis and increasing mitotic rate. The only identified risk factor is exposure to ionizing radiation. There are no environmental factors or hereditary features that have been identified so far. Moving on to the clinical manifestations of CML. Phases of CML are dependent on factors such as blast percentage, platelet count, and extramedullary infiltration as seen in the tabulation on the slide. In the chronic phase, we often find that these patients are asymptomatic. CML in its chronic phase is often subclinical and can stay so for up to a decade. In symptomatic patients, the onset of non-specific symptoms is insidious. They may present with weight loss, fever, night sweats, and fatigue. Splenomegaly often manifests as abdominal discomfort in the left upper quadrant. Lymphadenopathy is not typical in CML, unlike AML. CML in its early stages do not present with recurrent infections as granulocytes are functional. In the accelerated phase, patients then present with increasing anemia and new thrombocytopenia, symptoms of leukostasis, splenic infarctions, and this proliferation often compromises local blood supply, hence causing infarcts. There may also be dermatological and soft tissue involvement due to infiltration. We also find that in the accelerated phase, splenomegaly is often exaggerated, palpable in the lower left quadrant or pelvic cavity. And finally, in the terminal stage of CML, which is the blast crisis, symptoms will mimic those of acute leukemia with rapid progressive bone marrow failure, ultimately leading to pancytopenia and bone pain. Roughly 2/3 of cases transition into AML, while 1/3 move on to become ALL. Rarely, CML progresses into a terminal phase resembling myelofibrosis. Clinical suspicion should be raised with presentation of severe leukocytosis on routine blood work, splenomegaly, and constitutional symptoms such as malaise, fatigue, non-specific signs of bone marrow suppression. Initial diagnostic workup should include a full blood count, peripheral blood smear, a bone marrow aspiration, and biopsy. A full blood count and peripheral smear will reveal leukocytosis with a mix of mid-stage, which is myelocytes and metamyelocytes, and mature cells, thrombocytosis, basophilia and eosinophilia, blast cells, which can indicate transitioning into an accelerated phase, and anemia. Further lab studies may demonstrate how leukocyte alkaline phosphatase or LAP that may aid in differentiation between subtypes of leukemia and leukemoid reactions. A metabolic panel may or may not reveal any abnormalities. Potassium, LDH, and uric acid levels depend on the rate of cell turnover. A bone marrow aspiration is indicated in all CML cases. Hyperplastic myelopoiesis with a predominance of granulocytes, especially myelocytes and promyelocytes, are supportive findings in CML. Flow cytometry may be done to assess the type and maturity of leukocytes and detect progression to advanced CML or blast crisis. In chronic myeloid leukemia, a typical finding is marked leukocytosis that often exceeds 100,000 cells per millimeter cube and associated with basophilia, with a spectrum of myeloid cells of varying maturity. Prominent circulating cells are neutrophils, metamyelocytes, and myelocytes. Eosinophils and basophils are also seen but not specific for CML. Platelets are often abundant too. A small proportion, about 5% of myeloblasts, may be seen on peripheral blood. As seen in the karyogram, the normal chromosome 9 and 22 are on the left side of each pair. The abnormal or derivative chromosomes are on the right side. The confirmatory diagnostic test is the identification of Philadelphia chromosome and the BCR-ABL fusion gene using cytogenetic testing. Conventional karyotyping confirms the presence of a Philadelphia chromosome, while FISH analysis confirms a BCR-ABL fusion gene and can be utilized to monitor disease if RT-PCR is not available. A quantitative reverse transcriptase PCR with breakpoint analysis is the only quantitative method of assessing molecular response to therapy. This test detects the BCR-ABL fusion and leukemic cells. It is carried out initially 3 to 6 monthly thereafter. Standard initial treatment for CML is with first-generation tyrosine kinase inhibitor imatinib, as it is well tolerated and most patients achieve a complete remission. Overall survival rates with 8-year follow-up is between 85 to 90%. The risk of progression to accelerated phase has been reduced to 7% with the use of imatinib. In the case of resistance to imatinib, second-generation tyrosine kinase inhibitors such as dasatinib and nilotinib can be used for initial treatment. Unresponsiveness to other tyrosine kinase inhibitors then warrants the use of bosutinib, a third-generation tyrosine kinase inhibitor. Unresponsiveness to other tyrosine kinase inhibitors then warrants the use of bosutinib, a third-generation tyrosine kinase inhibitor. It is, however, associated with vascular events, heart failure, pancreatitis, and hepatotoxicity. Hence, patients should be counseled and informed prior to usage. If tyrosine kinase inhibitors have failed, provided the patient is fit, allogenic hematopoietic stem cell transplant combined with high-dose induction chemotherapy can be considered. If the blood cell crisis in lymphoid in nature, high doses of ALL induction therapy is indicated. Myelogenous blast crisis would then call for an AML regimen. For relapse, even after allogenic stem cell transplant, it is not an option. First, consider the use of interferons or hydroxycarbamide. Supportive treatment include leukapheresis for white blood cells counts exceeding 300,000 cells per microliter and splenectomy for severe or painful splenomegaly. There are various prognostic index used to stage the disease and stratify patients. Examples include SOCAL score, Hasford score, European Treatment and Outcome Study score. A combined prognostic model incorporates these various indices and utilizes the number of poor prognosis characteristics. Staging ranges from 1 to 4. The replacement of interferons as first-line therapy by tyrosine kinase inhibitors have drastically improved survival. So let's conclude. CML is a myeloproliferative disorder characterized by malignant proliferation of myeloid cells, specifically granulocytes. Initially insidious and subclinical for a period of time known as a chronic phase, patients are asymptomatic or only have non-specific symptoms. Then disease progression picks up past the accelerated phase. A blast crisis is clinically similar to acute leukemia and is potentially fatal. This should be recognized and treated urgently. Diagnosis is confirmed upon identification of the Philadelphia or BCR-ABL fusion gene. Do note, however, that said Philadelphia chromosome is present in 25 patients of B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia and small subsets of acute myelocytic leukemias. In acute leukemia, the presence of Philadelphia chromosomes confers a poor prognosis. Tyrosine kinase inhibitors are indicated in all patients with CML regardless of phase, as the majority of patients respond well and are able to tolerate them. We have come to the end of this topic. Thank you.